This is Arukh HaShulchan. You're there, Siman Aleph, Sif Nun. They were doing one Sif. Day 15 in the Supplemental Arukh HaShulchan Yomi cycle. And yesterday we talked about somebody who we checked and he had no knowledge of Hilchos Shechita, even though he already shechted. And the Arukh HaShulchan suggested, well, if he had a certification, in other words, one time he got a Kabbalah, so then we can be matir Shechita because fake faker. Maybe at the time he shechted, he had not yet forgotten Hilchos Shechita, as he has now that he's come in front of us. And even if he did forget them, it's possible he shechted properly. But if he never had Kabbalah, then the first topic is not helpful because we don't have a starting point to say, well, he knew Hilchos Shechita at some point without that Kabbalah. Nuni says, the Gedolei Achronim argue this. The Taz, the Pichodesh, Gra, but the comment seems to be because later on it seems to be Shochet Besakim Baduk, if somebody checked with a knife which had been checked. Okay, we have a baseline of kashrus, just like the Kabbalah. Ulachar Shechita, and after the Shechita Reno bone, we saw it had a nick in it. And when our question became pokum in the hide at the beginning of the shechita, and of course then the animal is a treifa. Obetz and Vegas became nicked at the by the spinal column, which be at the end of the shechita. Nivkam, there was nicked the spinal column, then the shechita shechera. The Kamalan and our the conclusion is the imloshi brought thomas acha shechita. If you didn't break bones, actual bones, after the shechita treifa, then we have to treifa the animal. I've got the fake sveka. Well, there's a fake sveka. There's two. Shema betzim nifkema. Maybe it was became pogum in the spinal column after the shechita. And if you're going to say it became pogum on the hide at the beginning of the shechita, Shema lo shachat. Maybe the shechita did not occur with the part of the knife which has a nick in it. But even though you can distinguish and say that, well, here by our case over here, in the case of the question obviously, why don't we say fake over there? Just like fake you want to say fake over here, and even though you can say that here's more of a reason to be matir. He had a kabbalah one time, so therefore it's logical to say that he shechted according to his habituation, which is legit. But and the second suffix that that he shechted properly, even if you did forget the halachos, it's also more logical to assume it's mutter than also. But here's the opposite. There, it's the opposite. By the knife, the derech l'holi chasaka meikula. Normally, people draw the entire knife across the makam hashchita, not just part of it, and excluding thus the place where the nick is. The karv isi asim leheter. It's more likely it's us and mutter. As far as zu shlonim tzabashas, it's difficult to draw this distinction based on what's not found in the Gemara itself. We also can't derive a heter from that which we see in Sim Pe'al. With cheese which is made from an animal, and then the animal became treif. We said the cheese was permitted, even though the animal is now treif in front of us. That the heter is not accounted as fake sveka. Because if you, based on that fake sveka, which we're not going to get into right now, then you should be matir even without a kabbalah. Okay, because you just assume an assumption of kashrus. So clearly they are not comparable. Besides that, there's no comparison at all. He says the fake sveka. The animal which is shechted is v'cheskas heter, assumed to be mutter, and we're matir by its fake sveka. In other words, that animal which has this we found this treifa in it now, but during at the time the shechita was v'cheskas heter. Mashegim is the shechita the v'cheskas isro meres. I'm not sure exactly how that worked over there. If you found the trephus, I guess maybe the trephus could have happened after the death of the animal. But even here, it's not going to apply because here the animal started off with cheskas iser when it was alive. It's obvious, according to those holdings in your idea, sim kufyu, that you can't be matir or fake sveika in the case of cheskas heter iser. Then not to become a fake time fake sveika. Can't say fake sveika here either because there's cheskas iser. Behema b'chayeb cheskas iser. When it was alive, it was also by definition. It's more likely to compare this halacha to a mikveh, which is measured and found to be missing from the 40 saw, which is requisite. So we say anything Torah which is made there is tamei. He said b'shas tam, and the shas says mishum darei chasav v'necha. Now, when it comes in front of you, it's missing the water. And here too, he's not an expert now. When you're testing him, he clearly doesn't know the halachas. True, there's no fake sveika. Nevertheless, the overriding svara is the damage is in front of you. Also here, the reyes is in front of you that he doesn't know the now, so let's say the animal is also. Because the mikveh is different. The mikveh reyes abura there, the damage is clear. It's missing. But also with the case of the knife, it's damaged in front of you. But here, it's not necessarily damaged. It's a suffix in the damage. Like we said yesterday, somebody who shechts and doesn't know is he necessarily going to shecht inappropriately? It's only a suspicion. And we know that he knew how to shecht at some point because he had a Kabbalah. Right? We're talking against Kabbalah. So logic dictates that he shechted as he was habituated. 11, we said mikveh sakin is opposed to the case by the mikveh and the knife, where there is no such, the baseline assumption is not going to help you at this point in time because there's no habituation. It's a knife. It's a mikveh. It's no habituation. It doesn't have a rote mode, and therefore, there we shouldn't be making. Okay, that's it for today, but obviously tomorrow we're going to continue and discuss this further and see when we get to Sif Nun Aleph.